Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session today. Sorry. So, welcome to our session today of Azure AI 900 Fundamentals Training. I'm Yarden from Microsoft Reactor, and together with me is Moria Dror, our Regional Reactor PM. Microsoft Reactor is a hub for developers, startups, and students to connect with each other globally and in the local community. We have in total 10 locations worldwide of reactors, and you can go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen to get updated on our newest events, webinars, hands-on workshops, and everything worldwide. We'll also share the links in the comments later. So, as part of the Reactor, we love to introduce you to Microsoft Learn. It's a hub for developers to learn and train, elevate your development journey with our own platform. You can learn whatever you like in any kind of different topics here in the platform, and you can also learn. I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit troubles with my internet. So you can also join the AI Learning Hub when you can learn more about AI from the fundamentals to deep learning and see everything you need to know about AI. I will hand it over to you, Bethany, as I'm
Yeah,
having a
thank you
little
so
bit of
much.
troubles over here.
Yeah. You can go back to the slide on the series.
Yes.
Okay, we can start from the series. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Bethany. I'm a cloud advocate here at Microsoft. And this is day 3 of our series. We are doing natural language processing today. I love natural language processing because I see it as a base for generative AI. So without natural language processing, I don't think Gen AI will be possible because understanding language is the basis of Gen AI, right? So today we'll be discussing natural language processing. The next session, which will be on Thursday, will cover generative AI, part 1, then part 2 in the next week. We'll also have more sessions, including responsible AI, document intelligence, and conclude with a certification session. So next slide is about the Reactor Code of Conduct. While you're here, you can read through the Code of Conduct, but the main thing is be friendly, interact with us on the chat, ask any questions you have, but ensure you're just kind and considerate to everyone. Before I hand it over to our speaker for the day, who will be Kevin Gatimu, a Microsoft MVP, I want to talk a bit about what you, as a participant in this program, should be doing. So, onto my slide, my blog post. This is a post, Jaden will post it on the YouTube chat. So this post basically gives you an idea of what this program is about. First of all, today you add the reactors. So we have a series of events happening. That is the reactor events. We started last week and we're going strong. The beauty of this is if you missed an event, you can still go back, use the links and check them out. The next bit is we have free vouchers to give away, certification vouchers for the Azure AI 900. The only catch is it's only available for people who are residing in Kenya. But for you to be eligible, one, you need to sign up for the Cloud Skills Challenge and then request the voucher from us. We have a form there. Once you complete the challenge, just fill it in. Even as you're starting the challenge, ensure you just fill it in so that when we come back and look at it, you can be able to see, this person did the challenge, we are awarding them a voucher. And then the last thing is we have a Discord channel. If you want to interact with us, you can go through our Discord channel. All the links will be shared in the blog post that Moria has just posted. So we have a Discord challenge where in case you have any questions, in case you need to interact with anyone, you can join in. It's the global AI channel. So the beauty of it is you also get to meet people from all over the globe and interact with them. Once you complete this challenge, once you complete this journey, you can keep learning. It's not the end. The first thing is the Azure AI Skills Navigator. This helps you now, once you learned a bit of AI, it helps you customize what you want to learn next, basically giving you an idea of what your learning journey should look like. And then we have the Microsoft Learn collection, where all the resources we'll be sharing in these sessions and more will be there. So in case you need a reference point, the learning collection is there. That's it for my bit. I'll now hand it over to Kevin Gatimu, who is an MVP. An MVP is basically a Microsoft Most Valuable Profession. This person has done a lot in the area of web and Azure and has earned himself the title of an MVP. He got into the MVP program last year. And in Kenya, currently, we have about 5 to 6 MVPs. We have MVPs in the area of AI, we have MVPs in the area of Power Platform, we have Azure MVPs as well. So if you want to join the program, maybe Kevin will talk a bit more about it, but feel free to interact with him. Any questions you have, please post them on the chat. I'll be moderating, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. Over to you, Kevin.
Thank you so much, Bethany, for that nice introduction. My name is Kevin, and I'm going to take you through natural language processing workloads on Azure. So I'm a technical trainer at Teach to Give, and when I'm not doing my work, I usually do more of Microsoft MVP because I'm an MVP on web development and Azure Cosmos DB. I'm also a founder of Kenya Data Platforms User Group in Kenya. So I'm also an outgoing Gold LSA. And if you want to connect with me via Twitter, I'm active, and also on LinkedIn, as you can see. So my favorite series is Expanse, and Rango is one of my best animations. So I'm going to discuss today's topic, which is part of the AI 900 or Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. And my topic today is natural language processing, which is NLP. I know there have been other sessions, and there will be other sessions which are ongoing. Please just join. I think there'll be a playlist which will be shared on the chat. So in the natural language processing, if you go to Microsoft Learn, you'll find that we have several modules. So we are going to cover some of them and see what it is and what can we learn from this session. So Microsoft Azure, in terms of natural language processing, you can basically divide it into two major categories, one being Microsoft AI multi-service resource, and you can also go direct and tackle one resource at a time. So for example, the multi-service resource, as I call it, has various portions. Like you can find it includes service like vision, language, speech, and decision. So today we are going to cover these, but in the demo session, I'll show you everything as I planned to do. So when we're talking about AI, Microsoft has various services. So in the natural language processing, we have Azure AI Service, which is formerly known as Cognitive Service, which is the mode service, but still we have custom vision as a service, document intelligence, face, language, and speech. So when I talk about natural language processing, some of you might not understand what it is, but it basically means that computers are able to understand and interpret and generate human language, just like how we humans speak. So to bridge this gap, we use NLP to make sure that the communication between humans and computers are in sync. So as I have said what NLP is, we can also talk about text analysis. This is all about transforming unstructured text into meaningful data. And some of the common use cases things like sentiment analysis, which we are going to see today, and also even do demos on. Also document summarization, entity extraction, and then also we shall see the demos in the various portals. So speaking about the core features of Azure AI language services, um, text analysis determines the emotions or the tone of text. So you can think of a use case where you have like you want to get the exact or the actual sentiment from a product review perspective, where people are buying a product like in an e-commerce system, and then they are giving reviews on these products. So sentiment analysis can help you get the exact meaning of some words which humans can use with emotions. So we shall see these in action also. Also, we are going to talk about text key phrase extractions, text summarization, and also conversation language understanding. So speaking about text analytics, we have to understand something like tokenization, which most of the LLMs use in order to get various semantics in these. So for example, if you want to break down a sentence, you can break down, we choose to go to the moon into tokens like we choose to and go. And these will give different meaning and also can be used to do things like summarization. So out of tokenization, we can do things like text normalization, which are like advanced way of dealing with tokenization, like lowercasing, removing punctuation, and standardizing tokens. Also, we can do some stop word removal, and the rest like the n-gram and the stemming. So when we talk about types of Azure AI language services, which is the first service we are going to discuss, we have like two categories. We have the pre-configured models and the custom models. So pre-configured means that Microsoft have gone ahead to train these models with millions and trillions of data. So they are just there ready for you to use. And sometimes you find in the business that you can't just do with things which have been pre-configured. You might find that you need a specific use case. That's where the custom models comes in. So in the custom models, we shall see a few of them. And then in the pre-configured, we shall see almost everyone. So we are going to discuss each one of these in details in the next slides. So this is the pre-configured ones. Okay, so let's continue. So talking about named entity recognition, we shall see how these identifies and categorizes entities like people, location, and organization from an original text or text which you can give to the LLM. So Azure AI language service specific has the named entity recognition, which will give the confidence and also the entity value of the extracted data. So for example, if you have something like, my name is Mateo Gomez, you see Mateo Gomez, it will identify Mateo Gomez as person, and its confidence level will be like 99%. So we shall see these in details as we do the demos. But basically understand that named entity recognition will identify different entities like location, date and time, phone numbers, products, and others. Speaking of language detection, this is where the AI is able to determine the language of the input text. For example, you can just give an original text in like French or Germany, and the AI will be able to detect that this text is in a specific language and also give a certain confidence level. For example, I can't read French, I just know English and Swahili, but this is a French text there at the bottom, and then you can see the confidence level and the percentage. So there is also a service known as person identifying information and health information detection. So P and F is a short form. So it's able to identify personal details concerning like a human being. That's something like a phone number and email address and also other beings which might identify like the health of some. Sorry. So when you give it an original text, like my wife is this to visit Los Angeles, it will detect wife. That is something which can identify a person. And also date, you see August 17, that will be identified as date time. So we shall also do a demo for this. So sentiment analysis and opinion mining is also a service in the language, Azure AI language service. So it's able to detect the sentiment and give an analysis of it. So what I mean is that if you have a sentence like I found the zipper a little bit difficult to get up and down, this is like a feedback from someone who has bought a cloth, like let's say a pair of jeans. It has a zipper which was difficult to move up and down. So the assessment is difficult, okay? So difficult is an assessment which the AI will be able to detect, uh, which is targeted to the zipper. So the AI will be able to extract and see that, hey, difficulty is not something which is cool, it might be something which is negative. So it will give a negative confidence and it will also give a percentage. So for example, for these, it will give a negative of 100%. That is the value it's going to quote. And sometimes if we say something like I bought a size S and it fits perfectly. So perfectly will be the assessment targeting the size, and then it will give something like a positive of 75%. So I hope you understand the sentiment analysis and opinion mining and how it can affect businesses, which relies on people to give reviews. It can be an e-commerce, it can be a restaurant, or anything which people go and uh, purchase or do something to do with the money, like buy and then give some feedback out of it. So summarization, on the other hand, this is simple. It's a service which just takes a huge or original text, which is huge, and extracts different entities. And then using those entities, it's able to give a summary. And it can be extractive summary or abstractive summary. So I think it's the simplest one. So we also have key phrase extraction. So key phrase extraction will evaluate and return the main concept in the unstructured text. And this can be like the original text where we have my wife is decided to visit Los Angeles for the first time. So wife, Los Angeles, first time, these are key phrases which give semantic meaning to that sentence. And then it will extract all the key phrases and return them. So these key phrases can be used to give a summary or give some semantic meaning. You can do a lot of things with this. So you can combine these key phrase extraction service with other services to do different things. So we also have entity linking. So simply this service, which is part of the Azure AI language service, will extract an entity from a text and then try to link it to a Wikipedia link. So if you have something like General Hospital, it will pin a link to the word General Hospital, and this link will go to Wikipedia, and you can see maybe the meaning of General Hospital or anything which is associated with that. So entity linking is that you extract an entity and then link it to Wikipedia. So when we also have text analytics for health. So this extracts and labels relevant medical information from unstructured text. So this can be like a doctor's note, which he has given a patient. And then the AI is able to extract something like 100 milligrams of, I can't read the word, but it's a medication name. And then it will be able to detect that this is the dosage, okay, and this is the medication name. So this is crucial if you are like a software developer who wants to integrate, who is creating a health system, and you want to integrate it with some intelligent functionalities which can extract something like these and even give more information about this. So I think we are going first to do some few demos on the language service, and then we shall continue with others. So if you're a student, there's Azure for Students. If you can just Google that, and I think it will be pinned in the chat. You can just go there and subscribe for Azure and get some free benefits out of it, or you can try Azure. You also get a free benefit for like a month and access what you're going to do today. After that, we are going to see how we are going to provision language service, and then we are going to use it using this language.cognitive.azure.com. Knowing these rings is important because in the exam, I remember when I was doing the Azure AI fundamentals, I came across a question like this where I was asked which URL is associated with the question. So it's important to know. That's why I added this. So I'm going to share my Azure portal and we are going to do some demos. Cool. Um, so I'm on portal.azure.com. So this is the portal you'll get after you have signed in. And if you've never interacted with Azure, it's simple. I'm just going to start with a resource group. It's a way to combine everything into one thing which you're doing. So it's easy. You can just right click and create. So I'm just going to click on one which I've just created known as NLP. And it's in the resource group. The easiest way to know these services, if you've never interacted with Azure, it's easy. You just come and click create. You'll be taken into marketplace. I'm just interested in the Azure services only. And if you don't even remember the name, you can always see this filter where we have AI and machine learning. So we are talking about AI today. So click on that and you shall see all the services. So when I started, I talked about one Azure AI service which combines other services like language, translate, and everything. So it is this service, but I'm just not going to do this. I want us to do one at a time. So I'm going to use the language. So click create. So in here, custom answering. So I can select these and these also, and click create resource. So inside here, I'm just going to give a name, which is not taken. So let's say Kevin NLP, something like that. And also the value, I'm just going to take the free one or the S one. So this is going to ask me whether I need a storage account. I'm not sure whether I'll need it, but if you want to use it, you can just click here and give the name. Let's see. Mostly this is for custom services because when you're using custom services, you have to upload your own data. Okay, that will do. Let me just do it standard, but I'll delete it. Okay, so you review. This will take some few seconds, hopefully. Okay, I'm going to click create. So this is a process of provisioning a service. So we have gone ahead to provision the language service, which is part of Azure AI, which is also part of natural language processing. So this is going to take a couple of seconds. So let's be a little bit patient. Okay, so as we go on, if you have a question, you can throw it on the chat. So we're almost there. Okay.
We have a question in the chat. Is it possible that AI think like a human or emotion or can sense emotions?
Okay, I think I can take that. So AI cannot actually think like a human. It relies on the data which is being trained. So if it is trained on data which will help it to think like a human, then it is going to function exactly like that. So if it is trained with emotion data set, so it is going to use that data to give you as much as possible to answer the correct answer, because emotions are a complex topic. Yeah. So I think our service is okay now. So you can see we have different services like the language and the search, but we're just going to use the language. So click on it. You see now we are taken into this page. So this page is the overview. You don't have even to touch other things. You can just come straight to the language studio, because Microsoft has created a studio for anyone to use, so that even if you're not a machine learning or AI expert, you can still work and test this. So it's going to ask me the directory. So I'm just going to use the student ambassador because I'm one. And then the subscription, I'm just going to go with the Visual Studio. So yours might be different. So select the specific one. So the language is this. I'm just going to select this Kevin LNP, which is a service we have just created a few seconds ago. And then I'm just going to say done. So I'm just going to be taken into this portal, which is a very good portal to test few things. So remember we talked about things like extraction and classifying, but we didn't actually call them extract information. We call them just things like extract PI, phrases, and entities. So let's try this first. So you just click try out, and then you'll see this page will ask you like select the language. I'm just going to go with English, and this is my resource which I deployed on Azure. So this is just going to help us identify some named entity recognition. So our data set is just here below, so you can click whichever you like. So I'm just going to go with travel, and then the text will be added into the input. So after this, now I can come here and acknowledge that I'll be charged, but actually it's not going to charge me. And then run this. So when I run this, it's going to identify a few things. Let's see. So, yep. So after running, you see that it's able to identify personal identifiable information like wife and the date and the kids. And you can add your data here also. I'm not going to do that because of time, but you can use whichever type of data you want and test. Okay. And say, for example, this is an email. You see, we have personal type, we have phone number, and it's going to identify which and the confidence. So the entity is Mateo Gomez of type person, and then you see the percentage of the confidence of the AI. So even though this is not part of these Azure AI fundamentals, so if you're doing something Azure AI, probably associate, you're doing an associate course to answer AI, you'll see that you'll be using using the SDK to develop. So these are like the subscription key, which you can use to test these in your code. If you're a developer, so you can click here and view the samples to do that. So that's one of it. Probably I'll do a couple of them. So extract named entities the same way. It's general variable English, and then you can start even with a Rigo document. Here it is, run it, and you're going to see the confidence and the entities. So if you're using the the API part, let's say you're a developer. So if you give an input text of these, the response which is you're going to get will have things like these, which is the confidence level and also the type of the entity. For example, person and this. So this will be the response you're going to get. Cool. So probably I can do one more. So let's say do this for extracting key phrases. I'm going to do travel. So we have these, then run. You see, this is the key phrases. So as we said, key phrases is going to extract unstructured text and then return it as a JSON. So it's going to extract wife, Los Angeles, all these which have semantic value to answer this paragraph and then return it as this. Good. So that is language. You can do a lot of things. You can plug a lot of applications using this service. So we are going to continue with our slides. Yep. So we are done with the language service. This is the portal. As I said, you should know the URL. So let's talk about Azure AI Speech Service. So this is going to help us to do some few things with text, with our voices. So how you interact with an AI using your voice. Azure AI Speech Service is the right service for you. So we can do things like transcribing text. Also, we can translate spoken audio to different languages. We are going to see even voice avatars and other cool things. Also, just like the language service, you can consume this service using the speech studio, which we'll see. And also you can use command line tools, or you can use REST API or SDK if you want to develop using this service. So we're going to start with speech to text, which people call speech recognition. So this is the ability of an AI to transcribe audio into text. So you give it audio, and then it is going to give you the text as the output. So this can be real time or asynchronous. Okay, so we're going to see the different versions of this. The other thing we are going to cover is text to speech, which is the opposite of whatever I've said. So this is speech synthesis. It is used to convert input text into human-like synthesis speech. So you'll hear you'll hear the AI speaking like a human after giving it text. So there is voice gallery, where it's like a small marketplace where you can choose your voice actor who is going to speak. And also you can train one. So that is the essence of custom neural voice. You can train one to speak like according to what you like, or you can tune it. That's the aspect of custom. Also, we are also going to see how you can create content. I think you have ever seen like on YouTube where people, instead of someone speaking, the AI or the humanoid voice is speaking when the video is being played. So you can create your own human-like voice and create content with it. We shall also see that. So just like the language, we're going to visit the Azure portal, provision, the speech service, and then we're going to access the speech portal, which is a good way to test and play around the service. So let me share my screen. So I'm just going back to home to my resource group, and I'm just going to create a new service. So as I said, so you can just come to the filter and see everything. So for mine, I'm just going to go with the speech. Okay, so this is a service we want to work with. So just like before, we're going to give it a name. Just going to call it Kevin speech. I hope it's not taken. Okay, that's cool. The pricing tier, and then review and create. So this is going to take just a couple of seconds, and then we shall see the demo. So we have an issue. So let's see. Okay. Okay. We're going to give it a few seconds. We have an error here. Okay. So let me just repeat this and maybe give a dummy name. Okay. So mm, let me repeat this. I think there's an error with the previous thing I provisioned here. So always give a meaningful name. I'm just using a name to see uh, let it just speak as fast as possible. Okay, so probably it was just a little bit of caching. Previously, I think I used the same name to provision the same service, and then that's why we had some few issues. So we're just going to give it a few seconds. I can't access the chat. I hope Bethany is answering some few questions for you guys. So this is going to take a couple of few seconds. Okay, so it's already done. Okay, so here it is, Azure Speech, Kevin. So this is the service I have provisioned and named it like that. And as I said, if you're a developer, you can just get the keys here and start developing using these endpoints. But we're just going to do a demo, which is into the scope of Azure AI fundamentals, where you are not asked any question to do with developing. So as you can see, now we are in speech.microsoft.portal, but Microsoft is developing Azure AI Foundry, which is going to combine all these portals which I'm using. So probably in a few months, the speech and the language will also be available in Azure Foundry. So let's do some few things. So just like the previous portal, you can see we have different scenarios and the use cases, but we are going to test each one of them. So remember, we did speech to text and also text to speech. So for example, real-time speech, you can just click on it to try. And I'm going to test it with my microphone. I'm just going to speak, and then it's going to convert my speech into text. So let me go and see. So I'm going just to read. I acknowledge that this application uses the resource Azure Speech Kevin. Come on. Okay, so it's able to transcribe this. It's a, I think I'm pronouncing my name in a funny way, so that it's able to capture Kerry instead of Kevin. But this is it. You can also delete and just do this as many as you can. So if you're developing, so you're going to import her voice and then it's going to give you text. So the same with the STK. Cool. So that is real-time text, real-time speech to text. So sometimes you might find you have a workload where you don't have real-time speech. You just have just speech and you want to uh, convert it. So you can try batch speech to text, whereby you can upload. Uh, let's say you have some records of voice and you want to process them into text. So you just click here and upload them. Cool. I'm not going to do that because I don't have any voice, but that's how you do it. The same. So in the code, I think I'm not supposed to talk this, but I like looking at the SDK version. So in the text, so in the code, you're just going to also do the same thing. So this is sample code. If you are low code, no code user, you can try this. And also you can see some few samples here. So moving very fast. This was interesting language learning. I'm not, I'm not sure whether you can hear what the AI said, but it just said that, hey, what would you like to talk about? So this, what this language learning is going to do, it's going to help you to pronounce words and also speak fluently or well. So for example, you will be able to learn how you can improve your fluency um, and other things like grammar and vocabulary and the way you talk. So I'm going to do a simple demo on this. Cool. So I'm just going to talk with AI. I'm not sure whether you guys can be able to hear what it is saying, but anyway. So press the mic to start speaking. So, hey, would you like to explain some few things to do with Azure? Cool. So I have just spoken to it just like once, but you can speak as many times as you can. But the good thing is that, let me just do a detailed demo. You can just click create and then start speaking. I would like to learn Microsoft Azure AI fundamentals. What should I do? Okay, so what are the requirements of learning Microsoft Azure AI fundamentals? I want to pass the certification, but I want to see what I should know to get started. Cool. So as you can see, it's able to give you feedback like your accuracy score. So mine is 93, the fluency score is 45, and then we have prosody score. So this is a good way to practice speaking something like English and see how you can do that. Also, there's Python here and you can just plug this into your application. So this is learning language service. Um, I think we have done more of speech to text. The same, you can, let's check the voice gallery. So the voice gallery is like a play store for, it's like a store for various versions of AI, uh, mostly based on how they speak and their fluencies, their accent, and other things. So, for example, if I choose someone like Andrew, you can hear how he speaks. Like this is a default when he is empathetic, you can still hear him. So the good thing with this is that um, by you choosing whichever voice avatar you want to use, you can go ahead and use it in different use cases. For example, this is a voice catalog where you have the voices, and this is the SDK part. And then the use cases is like this. You want to implement let's say a software which can read PDFs in your website. So you want a voice avatar who can read whatever you want it to be read. And this voice avatar can be of different aesthetics. As you can see, we have different dialects like German. It can read all types of languages. And also you can fine tune to see how you want it to speak. So these are the use cases. We are not going to go through everything, but if you like, you can just play with either of them, like narrators. If you want an AI to read the news for you, or a voice assistant, this is so cool. You can see whatever it's going to be reading and even track the different voices and how they're going to speak. So that's a voice gallery. Others are like custom voice. You can customize and train the AI to speak the way you want, or you have a way of pronouncing things which you want to implement into AI. So this is good to do that. So we also have others which I'm not going to go through them because of time, but personal voice, audio content, and text to speech avatars. For example, this is not supported in the region, so I'm supposed to deploy my my service to other regions so that I can continue with this. So be on lookout on something like that. So you can also transcribe uh, videos with this, and you can do a lot with the the service of speech. So I think I'm just going to jump on to the slides. Yeah. So this is where we were, so we can continue. So the portal is speech.microsoft.com. So note that. So we have Azure AI translators. So this translator is going, as it is called, it's going to translate from one language to the other. So I never knew that in Microsoft Word we had this tool free available for us to use. So I'm just going first to do a simple demo with Microsoft Word, and then you see how you can translate your text. So what I'm just going to do is open Microsoft Word, and then I'm just going to share my screen. Yeah, so this is Microsoft Word. So I'm just going to say something like, I want to learn Azure AI. So I think I'm just going to increase the font for this. So this is like your text. You want to convert it to something like French or anything. So the simplest way to do this is just highlight everything, right click, and then go to translate. So you can see even the icons are the same icons we saw on my presentation, which also is the same in the Azure. So it's using translate in the background. So when I click on this, you see I'm going to access translator in my right hand side, and it's going to translate these to different languages. So for example, maybe you want it to convert something like, uh, let me find a language which let's say like Chinese. I like watching some Chinese movies. So if you click on this and then insert, it's going to convert the first sentence and then into Azure. I think Azure AI, is no Chinese name for that. But it is a cool way to translate to different, uh, even Arabic, then insert. Okay, let me redo this. Okay, into Arabic, insert, it's going to convert. You see when it has pushed it into the right hand side, which I think Arabic starts from right to left. Yep. So that's a simple demo for for Azure Translate. So going back to my slides, so you can use Microsoft Word to do that. Even Microsoft Teams in a call, you see this text which is being transcribed as the speaker speaks, text is being generated, and then you can also use that text and translate it to whichever language you like, or whichever language is available in that service. So talking about AI translator, so there are different scenarios and use cases. For example, we have text translation. So you can do this in the language studio. There is also document translation, which you can do in the language studio also. And if you have a custom language you want to train your model and also implement um, translation, you can do this in the custom translate portal. So there are a few portals we shall see, even the URLs at the end of this call. So these now are text translation features. So as I said, this is the language, this translate, this transliterate, and then dictionary lookup is also I think in Microsoft Word, and then dictionary example. So basically the language is going to return a list of languages supported by the translate. Translate is going to render single source language text to multiple targeted languages. And then transliterate is going to convert characters or letters of the source language into the corresponding characters or letters the targeted language. And also dictionary lookup is going to evaluate the word and the source term. So, yep. So speaking about document translation features, so we have features like translating large files. So it's going to translate, let's say, a lot of documents simultaneously. So like a batch processing of kind. So you can also translate numerical files. So these all are features which deals with document translation. I'm not going to go through each one of them. I think we shall share these slides if someone likes, and you can go and read them. So let me jump on to the next. So we also have custom translation features. So one thing to note when you hear the word custom means that someone is not going to use the already trained model. So you're going to need to tune or do something more with the model to fit your workload. So these are use cases with businesses which might need to do specific task with a certain service. That's why we have custom translators, we have custom language, we have other services even on the speech, which were more of custom. So when you see custom, it's just like the other services, but they give you an option of training the models to do some few things here and there so that they can fit your workload. I can see here we have like machine learning translation technology. You can improve your transition by uh, applying neural machine learning translation. So if you're a machine learning expert or guru, um, like Bethany, I think this is somewhere where you can tap into this and create a custom translator. Maybe for more indigenous languages. For example, I'm a Kikuyu, so you can customize your model to translate from English to Kikuyu and to Fro and to, and this can be good. So you can also build systems that know your business terminologies. You might have like these short forms, phrases to maybe denote a certain lengthy word which you use only in your company, and maybe it's not a recognized English word. So you can customize a translator to have that knowledge that when you say a certain um, denoted word, it means this. So that's a good use case. You can also customize your dictionary to build your models. And yep, so you can also collaborate with others and share the work with different people. So there's a lot of use cases in terms of translations because we speak different languages all over the world. As I said, there's also yet another portal for custom translators. And this is still the process where you have to visit the portal. You have to provision the translator service on Microsoft Azure, and then you're going to visit this custom translator.azure.ai URL, and then obviously you're going to access the translator. I'm not going to do this because I can see I have just a few minutes remaining. But let's do a little bit of recap, I think. Yeah. So we have spoken about several portals. One of them is machine learning portal. We haven't gone there, but you can go there. There's also a portal for custom vision AI. There's also a portal for cognitive services. This is to do with Vision Studio, Vision Cognitive.azure. You can also have things to do with form, to recognize form, inputs, and everything. But today we have talked about language, speech, and translator. So these are like portals and the links you can use to go to different portals if you're not comfortable consuming the service by code. So probably you want us to first do a simple demo and see how these things work. So, and then after that, you can just go and develop something. So wrapping up, we have talked about Azure AI services, formerly cognitive service. We have seen you can use the multi-service resource, which I showed. Also, you can just go direct and use the language service, the speech service, and do various things we have done, like PI detection, custom named entity, extract key phrases, and also translate more than 100 languages if you're using the translator. So I think we are going to share a blog which will summarize everything about these things, and then also you can go and read more about this as part of Azure Natural Language Processing, which is a module in the Azure AI Fundamentals, which is a cool certification to have. So that's me. I think I'm going to let, is it Bethany, take over from here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kevin. It was such an informative session. I didn't think we had all those capabilities in Azure. It's been a minute since I used the language services. So it's been amazing seeing the overview of what's possible and the fact that the SDK is there. So if you want to go code fast, you can literally implement all this in your projects. If you want to just augment it and add some bit of AI in your projects, like why not, right? It's very informative. Thank you so much for the session. Hope to see you again. I believe I've I've responded to a lot of questions. There's a question around the advantages of using voice gallery versus other solutions. I'm a Microsoft employee. Of course, I'll say Microsoft is the best solution. Yeah, but the trick about finding the best solution is looking at your business needs and then trying to determine what exactly do you want to solve and then pick the best out of the three. Of course, I'll advocate for Microsoft. And then I guess I've answered all the rest of the questions. All the resources, you can find them in this blog. So this is our premier blog for the Azure AI Enhanced series. And as I've mentioned, you have the learner checklist here with all the details you need. Kevin, there's a high request for you to share the slides. So if you're not following Kevin on LinkedIn or on Twitter, you can follow him on Kevin Gatimu or Kevin Komba. So there's a high demand for you to share the slides. Hope you do so on your LinkedIn or Twitter, whichever is the best. So you can follow him and he'll share the slides for you. But everything else for these sessions, the upcoming sessions, you can check them on the learner checklist. And then we have the next session on Thursday. So Julia will be taking us through generative AI. And if you've ever heard Julia speak, you know this session will be very interesting. You'll laugh a lot and you'll learn a lot as well. But thank you so much for joining us today. See you on Thursday for the generative AI session and keep learning. That's it. Thank you so much.